Hello students, welcome back. In this class we are starting with a new chapter, that is 15th chapter, biodiversity and conservation. So this is a 3 hours chapter. It is also very important for your examination. So now we will discuss the introduction for this chapter, biodiversity and conservation. So here this biodiversity, the term biodiversity, it is originated from the Greek word. Here bios refers to life and diversity refers to forms. Different forms are different structure. So here different forms we can say. So here bios refers to life and diversity refers to forms. And this term biodiversity, the term was coined by Walter G. Rosen. So the term biodiversity was coined by Walter G. Rosen, and the concept of biodiversity, it was popularized by Edward Wilson. So the term biodiversity was coined by Walter G. Rosen, but the concept was popularized by Edward Wilson. So before going to discuss about biodiversity, firstly we should know about diversity. So what do you mean by diversity? So here you know diversity is nothing but forms, but we can say diversity is nothing but variations or individual differences. Individual differences. See for example, if in one class there are about 60 students and among all the 60 students we can find the individual differences. Not only morphologically, even their thinking, habitat, everything will be different. So that is what individual difference, and those individual differences we can call it as variations, and those variations only called as diversity. So if you find individual differences in among the 60 students, we can say there is a diversity in that class. And this term diversity we may have used earlier while studying about bacteria. We will say there is great diversity in their shape, size, etc. So their diversity in shape is nothing but there are different shapes of bacteria. For example, you know, Bacillus bacteria, Cocci bacteria, Vibrio spirillum. So all these shapes are different and we can find variation. So due to the variations, we will use the term diversity. And even their size is different, and due to the different sizes, we can use the term diversity in their size. So we will say diversity in their shape, size, which means we will find the variations and individual differences, and so those individual differences are called as diversity. Then where do you find such variations? Here, variations are commonly seen in living organisms at the species level, genetic level, and not only at genetic and species level, we can find individual differences or variations at all levels of organization. So levels of organization, you may be knowing that cell, a group of cells leads to tissue, tissue to organ, likewise, that is called as levels of organization. So here variations can be seen at all levels of organization. And those variations, they will be starting from macromolecules to biomes. We will find these variations from macromolecules to biomes. Let us have a glance about levels of organization. So initially you are all familiar with the cell. So cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life, but before the formation of cell there are macromolecules. There are macromolecules. So which are the macromolecules? Like nucleic acids and even more. So for example, if you take the macromolecules like nucleic acids are of two types, DNA and RNA. So there we can find the variation. So at macromolecule level, we will find the variation. Later macromolecules, they contribute to form cell. At cellular level also we will find the difference or variation. You may be knowing that unicellular, multicellular, prokaryotic, eukaryotic. Likewise, we will find variations at cellular level also. Then group of cells leads to tissue. So at tissue level also we will find variations. Then group of tissues leads to organs. Then organs leads to organ system. Then organ system leads to organism. Then group of organisms leads to population. And populations leads to community. Then community leads to ecosystem. So community leads to ecosystem. Then ecosystem to biosphere. And the larger biospheres are called biomes. So this is the levels of organization. Here at macromolecule level we will find variation, cellular level, tissue level, organ system. So at every level we will find the variation. And organisms, living organisms, yes, each and every living organism showing variations, and group of organisms leads to population. So different types of living organisms, they will form a different population. Then that population later leads to community. So generally we will say community in the sense biotic and abiotic community. The biotic community includes all living organisms and abiotic community includes the non-living external environmental factors. Then ecosystem. So ecosystem always comprising of the biotic and abiotic components. Whenever we say ecosystem, that ecosystem should contain the two communities like biotic and abiotic community. If any one community is absent, then we cannot consider it as a ecosystem. And the definition for ecosystem you will going to study later. Then these ecosystems will form the biosphere. Later, the larger biospheres are called as biomes. So starting from the macromolecule, from macromolecule level to biome, we will find variations. So that is very, very important. So what I am going to say here variations are seen at all levels of organization, and those variations are called as diversity. And this diversity we will study among the living organisms. That's why it is biodiversity. But what exactly the definition for biodiversity? So definition is important, and so the definition for biodiversity is the biodiversity or biological diversity. We can call biodiversity or biological diversity. So it is nothing but occurrence of different types of ecosystems, then different species of organisms, and their variants. Variants are nothing but biotypes. I will explain all this. So occurrence of different types of ecosystem, different species of organisms and their variants, that is biotypes, and genes adapted for different climates and environment of different regions, including their interactions and processes. So you will think the definition is very lengthy. I will give another definition. It will be very simple, but you should understand this definition. So biodiversity, it is the occurrence of different types of ecosystem. Firstly, what is ecosystem? So ecosystem is also very, very important. Actually, ecosystem is nothing but it is a segment of nature. It is a segment of nature consisting of both biotic and abiotic factors. We will say biotic and abiotic community, components, factors. Likewise, so ecosystem, it is a segment of nature consisting of both biotic and abiotic community. And these two communities or components will be interacting and exchanging their materials. These two components will always interact with each other and they will exchange their materials. So how I will explain? Here biotic community is nothing but all living organisms comes under biotic community, and whatever the external environmental factors like water, air, soil, everything we can consider as abiotic components. Or we can say the physical environment. So here the living organisms are biotic and the physical environment is considered as abiotic. So the biotic components, does we react or interact with the environment? Of course, we will interact with the environment. How? See, for example, we as well as plants, they will be interacting with the environment. See, plants, so they will be liberating oxygen to the environment. From the environment, we will intake oxygen and we will exhale or we will liberate the carbon dioxide to the environment. So here we are interacting with the environment. At the same time, we are exchanging materials. That is very, very important for ecosystem. There are different types of ecosystem, like for example, pond ecosystem, forest ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem. So whenever we say ecosystem, these two components are must and they will be interacting and exchanging their materials. So now go back to the definition for biodiversity. So occurrence of different types of ecosystems. Yeah, in a diversity we can find different types of ecosystems as I mentioned earlier, and different species of organisms. Yeah, there are different species of living organisms exist on the earth and their variants. So variants are biotypes or nothing but they are the different organism but having same genetic constitution. So one organism and the other organism. So this variant is nothing but a different organism but having same genetic composition, that is called variants. And the genes which are present in living organisms, they will be adapted to the climate. So genes will be adapting to different climates and different environmental conditions of different regions. So in different regions we will find different climatic conditions and environmental conditions, and genes must be adapted to different climates and environments, including their interaction. So how the living organisms interacting with the abiotic or physical environment and the processes which are taking place in living organisms all together is called as biodiversity. So simply we can say biodiversity, it is the totality of all living organisms. The totality of all living organisms, or else we can say it is the collection of different varieties of all life forms. Different varieties of all life forms is called as biodiversity. So you must note down the definition for biodiversity. Simply we can say the totality of all living organisms are the collection of different varieties of all life forms. Then what is the importance of biodiversity? So this biodiversity, it is very, very important for maintaining balance in the ecosystem, and it also maintains the continuous flow of energy. So in order to understand these two, how it helps to balance the ecosystem and how it helps in maintaining the continuous flow of energy, we will take certain examples. So here we will take one ecosystem as an example. I will take a forest ecosystem. I mentioned there are different types of ecosystems. Now I will take forest ecosystem. So in a forest ecosystem, which are the biotic components, all living organisms including the plants, animals and microbes, everything will be considered as the biotic components, and abiotic component will be the physical environment. And here I will write a simple food chain. So in a food chain, one organism will be the food for other organism. When I write the example, you will come to understand. For example, here grass or any plant which will be eaten by a herbivore, and this herbivore will be eaten by a carnivore. So particular example, let us write here we will write a plant. So here we are taking plant, and the organism which feeds on plant is called as a herbivore, and the organism which feeds on herbivore is called as a carnivore. So here I am writing the plant, it is grass, and herbivore deer, and carnivore tiger. So this is one simple food chain. So here you can understand how the flow of energy will be taking and how we can able to balance the ecosystem. First I will tell you how the continuous flow of energy will be taking place. See, as grass, it is a plant. So it will obtain the solar energy from the sunlight. It will receive or it will take the solar energy. By utilizing the solar energy, it can prepare their own food. Then the energy which is present in grass that can enter into this deer. When this deer it feeds on grass or any other plant, the energy which is present in the plant gets transformed to deer. When this tiger eats this deer, now the energy which is present in a deer, it gets transformed into tiger. Then from tiger to, so that I will explain later. So here from sunlight the solar energy is transferred to grass, from grass to deer, deer to tiger. And here generally we will say this is a producer. So the plants can able to synthesize their own food. That's why all plants are called as producers. And here remaining organisms are called as consumers, and those consumers can be categorized into primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, likewise. But generally when you study the ecosystem chapter, they will come across the trophic levels. Each and every organism in the food chain is considered as a trophic level. So this grass is called as a trophic level 1. Trophic level 1. And a deer is a trophic level 2. And tiger is a trophic level 3. Likewise, we can give the levels, trophic levels. So here from grass energy transferred to deer, deer to tiger. And this tiger, after the death, there is no organism to eat this tiger. After the death of the tiger, this tiger may be eaten by vultures. So at that time, when this tiger is eaten by vultures, the energy which is present in tiger gets transformed into vultures. Or else, if this tiger, when it dies, during decomposition, the decomposing bacteria or decomposing saprophytic microorganisms, they will obtain the energy from this tiger. So try to understand, the energy from tiger, it will be transformed to the decomposers or saprophytic microorganisms. So why it helps to maintain the continuous flow of energy? Because of this diversity. Here we will find grass is a different organism, deer is a different organism, tiger is a different organism. Due to this diversity, it will maintain the continuous flow of energy. In case if any of the trophic level is absent, if a tiger is absent, so the flow of energy we cannot say that it will be continuous. Due to the diversity only, it will maintain the continuous flow of energy. And one more thing I told you, it helps to balance the ecosystem. See, when the plants are eaten by deer, so the deer it will grow, it will reproduce, and it will increase their population. And after when it increasing the population, the tiger, as it mainly feeds on deer or other herbivorous organisms. Let us take the example, the tiger will be eating the deer. So here again the deer population will be decreasing. So likewise, we cannot say that here if a tiger is absent, just assume here tiger is absent or carnivorous animals are absent, there are no organism to feed the deer. So what happens at that time? See, all plants, the plants will be eaten by deer, it will grow, reproduce and multiply. As the number of organisms increasing, it will need more plants so that one day completely all plants may be consumed by this herbivore. So why it has happened? Because of the absence of carnivores or because of the absence of tiger. So when plants are reduced, when the number of plants are reduced, one day there are no plants to eat. No plants to eat by the deer. And due to the absence of plants, we cannot balance the ecosystem due to the oxygen. Due to the absence of plants, oxygen availability is less and many natural disasters may take place. So why all this will be happening? Because of the absence of any one diversity. So that's why I am saying if all these diversity will be exist, it will maintain the ecosystem. If any one of the diversity organism is absent, it will imbalance the ecosystem. That is what I am explaining. So it is biodiversity is very important to maintain the balance in the ecosystem and also maintains the continuous flow of energy. Then the degree of biodiversity is quite shocking because even in a small area there is a large or great diversity. The biodiversity in a small area, it is so immense, that is extremely large. Even in a small area it is extremely large, then the totality of biodiversity overall on the earth is immeasurable. It is immeasurable, but the estimated range of global biodiversity or global species, it is about 2 to 100 millions. It is the global species. The global species, it is the estimated range of global species about 2 to 100 millions. But according to IUCN, it is nothing but International Union for Conservation of Nature. IUCN, the expansion for IUCN is International Union for Conservation of Nature. So according to this IUCN, there are about 1.5 million species. 1.5 million species have been discovered, studied and given scientific names so far. So far, there are about 1.5 million species of living organisms which will be evolved on the earth. The number may increase. But according to IUCN, it is about 1.5 millions of species. And out of this 1.5 million species, more than 70% are animals. More than 70% are animals and 22% are plants. And the remaining will be the other organisms, but more than 70% are animals. So we can say there is a great diversity among the animals. And the common man, he will find it very hard to believe the number of living organisms. Here we will say just 1.5 million, but exactly when we know the number of living species, it will be wonder. Because for example, there are more than 20,000 species of ants. Are there? You know, ants, you may be seeing ants, but when we know the species, there are more than 20,000 species of ants and 20,000 species of orchids. So orchids, plants, these are plants, there are about 20,000 species of orchids and about 28,000 species of fishes. And about 3 lakh species of beetles. So the number of beetles, you may be knowing ladybird beetle. Likewise, the species of beetles is around 3 lakh species. That's why I told you it will be believed to, it is very hard to believe that the number of living species. Because 20,000 species of ants, 20,000 species of orchids and 28 species of fishes and 3 lakh species of beetles. And out of this, the number of living organisms known, the number of living organisms known in India, it is about 8.1%. In India, the known number of living species is about 8.1%, because the total land area of India is about 2.4%. And in India, we can find about 45,000 species of plants. So India is with 45,000 species of plants and twice as many species of animals, and India is one of the, so out of the 17 mega biodiversity countries, India is also one of the 17 biodiversity or mega diversity countries of the world. Then here the predicted number is very large. So whatever the number we are saying now, it may change in future also, because many of the species are unknown and they are yet to be discovered. Many of the species are yet to be discovered, and many of the species may be extinct also. Why extinct, that we will see later. And the many number of species which are unknown, they are usually present at the regions of tropical regions and coral reefs. So at the ocean bed and in the tropical regions, there is a rich biodiversity. So there the number of species are still unknown and they are yet to be discovered. So this is all about the introduction for the biodiversity and conservation. So what are the main aspects to be studied in this chapter? Actually, in this chapter we will study the different types of ecosystems, different species of animals, plants, what is their number, and which country having maximum biodiversity. The number which is given at present, whether it is correct or it may change. It may change because I told you many of the species are unknown and they are yet to be discovered. So in future the number may changes or it may increases, and many of the species are extinct because of the deforestation. So due to the cutting of a forest or destroying the forest, many of the species will be extinct. And this chapter is mainly focused on the conservation of biodiversity. So here we will study the different varieties of organisms, that is biodiversity, and finally in this chapter we will study how to conserve that biodiversity. So that conservation is very important. So if we are not conserving that biodiversity today, we cannot able to exist, or in future we may not found a place to have our life. So that's why it has to be conserved. The biodiversity has to be conserved. That is very important. So this chapter mainly aims at conserving the biodiversity. It is nothing but conservation of the species of plants, animals, etc. So this is one of the important chapter. Because of diversity only we will be surviving today. And because of diversity there is identity. That I can tell you. So due to the diversity there is identity. So if all organisms looking similar, we cannot identify that organism. So due to the diversity there will be identity. So these are the certain factors that we can study today, and later in the next class we will continue the chapter. Thank you.
Yes.